A good morning, one and all. It is indeed match day, and it feels a little bit weird. I can't think the last time that I sort of dreaded a game as much as this. There'll be one, and it won't be that long ago, but at the moment, I can't actually think of one. It feels like just the weirdest game in the world. It feels like, for me, that there's no way that West Ham can go and win this. Because for West Ham to go and win the game, it's a tough game anyway. Look, put Lopetegui stuff aside. Going to St James's Park is tough. Factor in a Monday night, particularly for the fans who... I mean, this was out of order, by the way, by the Premier League to do this. Completely and utterly out of order. Basically, I think you'd have to leave at half-time to get the last train back. And that's back to Euston, I think. So, you know, if there's any bigger indication that the Premier League just don't give a shit about fans, then it's this. I would have actually liked, I don't know if you can, I don't know if when the fixtures are suggested, if you can fight it. I would have liked our club to have sort of fought this on behalf of our fans. So, a pretty horrendous thing to do, actually. But anyway, even with going to Newcastle on a Monday night, it's going to be really, really tough. Really tough, even if you're playing well. And we're not playing well. So I think it's the sort of dread that I'm feeling at the moment is looking at it, thinking, I just can't see a way. I can't think of any game this season where we've been totally dominant all game. Now, maybe, just maybe, you're never totally dominant all game. But you know what I mean. I can't look at it and think, oh, look, for 2/3 of that game, we were rampant. So I'm not entirely sure that Lopetegui can particularly look at any one game and think, right, I'm going to revert back to those tactics. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that stuff that was so successful in that game. And I still think you've got a man that's scratching around, trying to find his best formation and his best team, for example. So that in itself is just really hard. And I mean, Lopetegui said in his pre-match press conference that Newcastle were one of the most complex teams in the Premier League. I thought, oh no, don't say that. Don't say that. Because when I hear him say that, it makes me think he's going to come up with something creative. And I don't want to see him come up with anything creative. Reminds me like when some of my kids were toddlers and they'd go and they'd say, oh, we're going to make a smoothie or something like that. I wouldn't give them a blender or anything like that. But, you know, they'd take a bit of fruit and they'd put it in there and then all this crap would sort of go in. And one of them even at one point to make the colour look a little bit more bright, literally broke open a felt tip and put that thing in it. It was basically a nasty concoction. It was an experiment. We don't want to see it. And that was... I'll taste it, by the way. I don't think we saw that, you know, in a few games this season, most notably against Chelsea. This experimentation of putting weird players, well, not weird players, but, you know, players in weird positions they really shouldn't have been in and can't function in. So when I hear him say that Newcastle are one of the most complex teams in the Premier League, I think they're really not. They're really not. I think they'll probably play Livramento at right back, Lewis Hall at left back, two pretty big central defenders. They played Byrne in central defence and Shaw. I know Byrne did play at left back. He wasn't really. He was the central defender, big old lump of a player, isn't he? Another compact midfield and whatever. I don't know. Isak up front, Gordon and Joe Linton. Maybe Harvey Barnes will force his way in there, but Gordon and Joe Linton as the wide players. I don't understand what's complex. They'll play really, really... Obviously, I think it'll be a paint-by-numbers formation, really, by Eddie Howe, and I think that'll be enough. But I just hope Lopetegui, for his own sake, as much as anything else, is not going to overthink this one. It would take a lot for us to win today. Anyone else got the lurgy? I've got a bit of the lurgy at the moment. I think it would take all Newcastle to have the lurgy, some lasagna food poisoning, which I'd never believed that, by the way. I think that was just a terrible, terrible excuse, right? But some lasagna food poisoning, a bit of lurgy, Newcastle to have their very worst day, and West Ham to have everything go for us. Then we might. But I think it's very, very hard to make that case. The other reason that this match is just weird as hell, it's a Lopetegui situation, which is, look, officially, unofficially, however you want to say it, he's been given 2 games, Newcastle and Arsenal. 2 very unwinnable games. I'm not saying, I don't think he's been hard done by, Because, look, make no mistake about it, it'll be because of what happened against, not being able to score against Everton, who can't score against anyone themselves, can they? Any other number of games where we've been absolutely crap this season, that's what will go against him. Lopetegui won't lose his job because of Newcastle and Arsenal. It's just got to this stage now. But I think he will lose, and I think we'll lose heavily tonight. Because I just can't see the component parts of a defence that can keep a clean sheet. I know we kept one against Everton, but let's be fair, Everton can't score goals. Everton scored no goals in November. So Everton can't score goals, so keeping a clean sheet against them is not much of a boast. I can't see much in the midfield, and I can't see that we can score goals. I just find it hard, even breaking it down compartmentally into midfield, attack and defence. I find it hard to make a case that we can beat Newcastle. So if you lose against Arsenal, what's the point in giving him the Arsenal game? I just think, what is the bloody point? It's just, it's so depressing. And one of the reasons I'm not looking forward to it tonight, well, I've sort of explained it. I think I've explained technically my reasons why I'm not looking forward to tonight. But I think I'm also witnessing a really slow walk to the gallows at the moment. That's not a nice look. I wish, I think he needs to be put out of his misery. This is not something that's worked for him. The best laid plans and all that type of stuff, he may have had just wonderful, wonderful ideas and a philosophy and a project and a plan that he wanted to implement at West Ham. It ain't happened, and it's not happened, and it's not suddenly. I don't think there's a switch. I could be proven absolutely wrong. I'll tell you what, if we somehow see this a absolute rigid defence and fluid football tonight, and we look brilliant, and we look nothing like Lopetegui has been in the past 11 games, whatever it is, I'll say, crikey, fair enough. I'll be pleased. I will be pleased. But I just can't see any. I can't see any evidence for it, because that's what it would have to be. It would have to be so far different from anything that we've previously seen from Lopetegui that it just becomes massively unlikely. Just hugely unlikely that it would happen. And I just think, I don't know what the point of carrying on is. I don't mean in life. I don't mean metaphorically speaking. I mean, I'm not sure what the point in carrying on with Lopetegui is. What would anybody think would happen between Newcastle and Arsenal? I don't know, there may be some people who might turn around and say, well, hold on, do you want to chuck a new manager in against Arsenal? Well, I bloody would, because they might get a result. They might do something. Arsenal were not unbeatable this season. But in fact, I think they might have been better last season. That's not even, not even sure that's a controversial thing to say, is it? They were better last season, right? But I understand why, if you had a new manager, you wouldn't throw him to the wolves on that first one. But give it to someone else. Let someone else take it. Honestly, let someone else take the team for one game. Let one of the academy coaches take it. Just somebody else. Just somebody who's going to do something. And then they're not really being thrown to the wolves against Arsenal, are they? They're just, nothing will be expected of them anyway. So yeah, weird old game tonight. Weird game. I'd like to say I think I know what he. Well, I think I know what he should do. I think I know what he's going to do, but he's so unpredictable. He could come up with something really funky. And it was really interesting listening to Gio's video yesterday about has Stuyton thrown Lopetegui under the bus, which I did think was really, really interesting, actually. He was using the examples of the Twitter account that had done a sort of cerebral breakdown of everything that's, I was going to say everything that's happened, everything that's not happened under Lopetegui. And, particularly the composition of this midfield. And I did wonder, and I thought, well, do you know what? He's never... I don't think Lopetegui's even tried to make a passing midfield. So, if you think that he's not... That's his modus operandi, that's his rubber stamp, that's what he's known for, outpassing the opposition in midfield. Well, okay, if that's honestly what you want to do and that is your belief, you wonder how entrenched he is in his belief. I don't think he's entrenched in these beliefs. That's why I think he keeps swapping and chopping and changing. What you want to do is control the midfield passing. You just don't put Thomas Souček in there. They're all, to one extent or another, they're all a little bit cloggy, our midfielders. You would actually bring Lewis Orford in. You'd probably put Carlos Soler in central midfield. You'd probably drop Lucas Paquetá back. You'd probably do something like that. That's how you'd make your central midfield. Might do something like that, wouldn't you? You might go Lewis Orford, Edson Alvarez as the, maybe one holding player if he was going to play with a single pivot, which is the only pivot. You can only have one bloody pivot, right? Anyway. And you'd play maybe Carlos Soler next to him or something like that. You'd have a more technical midfield. I'm not sure how much he wants to. I'm really not. Anyway, you have to excuse me. I feel a little bit, I've been a bit under the weather, like I say. Maybe it's not that. It's not that. It's not the lurgy at all. It's this bloody football club. That's what it is. It's this bloody football club. It's quite apt. I'm feeling a bit grinchy today. So, I just can't see it. I can't see any way that we can do anything today. I'm sorry to say. And for that reason, we're all going to have to stay up really late. But nobody has got it as bad as those West Ham fans who have got to travel up there. I think it's horrendous. I think it's absolutely horrendous, by the way. Big shout out to Adam and Billy, who I bumped into, who are subscribers to the channel, and I bumped into them when I've been Christmas shopping over the last couple of days. Talk about busy. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Hello, fellas. Hope you're doing well. Nice to meet you. All right, I'm going to crack on. And, you've got like a funeral march. Dun, 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 dun. Honestly, that's what I feel about Lopetegui at the moment. He can't be enjoying this. He can't be looking forward to the game. It gets to a point, sometimes, particularly West Ham. Sorry, I was meant to end the video then. When you want a manager to go, you think he's going to go, he's going to leave, I want him to go. And, you're annoyed maybe with what he's done or what he hasn't done. You're annoyed with him tactically. And you just get to the point where you feel sorry for them. I think, this is a bad look. I feel sorry for him being put in front of the press, to be fair. He gets asked such benign questions anyway. It's not that bad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is these days, but I used to feel that the more edgy questions were asked, I think, and I don't really. Well, look, either the big questions aren't asked, or they are asked, and someone's editing them out, and we're not, or he's not being pressed on the answers. Sometimes he gives a real generic reply, and you'd want to press him on that, and say, no, Julen, but what was the thinking between the tactics today? Players seem to be out of position. You seem to be playing slow players up against fast ones. We knew that team was going to be fast today. Why did you decide to do that? And if he came back with a cliched answer, then you come back and you press him. You say, sorry, mate, I'm going to have to press you for an answer on that. And I don't think that's happening. But I wouldn't want that to happen anymore. I just feel so sorry for him. So sorry for him. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's like that first. It's like I don't know if they still do the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent or stuff like that. I don't know if it's still a programme that's produced on TV. But, you get the first ones on there and they, like, whatever, the first episode there would ever be, and you get the people and they can't do whatever they're supposed to do. They're a singer that can't sing. They're a magician that's not got a magic trick. Huge wizard sleeve, though. None of that. They can't do it. And it's embarrassing. You're sort of watching it like that. And someone's up there, saying, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. And they go, meh, meh, meh. Should have done the one and only, really, shouldn't I? By old Chesney there, he's a West Ham fan. And you think, you feel so bad for them, and they're stood up there. And then not only have they been buzzed 3 times, they can't give an explanation why they're so shit. I thought, no, let them go. Let them go. Bring on the good ones. Anyway, I don't watch that crap anyway. But anyway, it's what he is, isn't he? It's what Lopetegui is. He's the crap singer at the start of X Factor. But it's uncomfortable watching. Not his fault. It's the person. It's like an X Factor. You think it's not their fault up there. It's their mum or whoever or their best mate who said, "Do you know what? They're having a laugh, aren't they? You can sing. You should go on that X Factor." Do you think so? Yeah, you're really, really good.